Hey guys! The movie kicks off showing Mr. Krabs sitting in his office, staring at a mountain of bills like it's a paper monster ready to eat him alive. He groans, crumples the bills, and destroys them like a true businessman in denial. Then, ring ring, the phone rings. Thinking it's a customer craving a Krabby Patty, Mr. Krabs answers politely, trying to sound fancy. But surprise, it's not a customer, it's his daughter, Pearl. At school, Pearl is jumping with joy, sharing great news. Miss Lenore, the strict cooking teacher, has fallen into the industrial cake mixer and is now badly hurt. Don't worry, just cartoon logic. She tells her dad that she already told all her friends she'll buy everyone Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabs sighs deeply. He hates delivering food to schools. It reminds him of his own nerdy days when his hairline still had hope. But Pearl starts crying rivers, flooding the office like the Titanic 2.0. She begs him to do it, saying they'll get tons of new customers. Hearing the word profit, Mr. Krabs instantly changes mood. I'll do it. He calls Spongebob and Squidward into his office. The plan? Head to the school kitchen and serve greatness. Squidward is secretly thrilled, thinking there might be a music teacher there who will admire his genius clarinet art. But before he can pack, Mr. Krabs snatches his clarinet. You stay and guard the Krusty Krab. Fancy knows. So only Spongebob and Mr. Krabs set off on the mission. Squidward, finally alone, smiles like it's vacation day. No Spongebob, no chaos. But peace doesn't last long. Out of nowhere, 5 full buses of hungry customers arrive at the restaurant. He panics so hard his nose nearly curls up. Meanwhile, Spongebob and Mr. Krabs reach the school. Spongebob spots a sign, "No bubble blowing allowed." His soul shatters, but he obeys. Pearl greets them happily and drags them straight to the school kitchen, thanking her dad for helping. Inside the cafeteria, they freeze in shock. Students everywhere are so hungry they're eating napkins. Then an alarm blares, and Miss Lenore limps in with her chef hat slightly burnt. She yells for everyone, including Spongebob and Mr. Krabs, to line up. Mr. Krabs explains that they're temporary cooks sent by the school. She grumbles, but assigns them their spots. Spongebob dives into cooking mode, pulling out his secret ingredients. But Lenore warns him, "No Krabby Patties allowed here. Only boiled kelp, steamed bread, and chewy cookies." Spongebob looks traumatized. He tries to sneak in some minced meat, but Lenore wrecks it. The kitchen is so gross it looks like a horror movie fridge. Reluctantly, Spongebob boils the food as told. Meanwhile, in the cashier area, starving students surround Mr. Krabs like zombies demanding Krabby Patty. He tries to calm them and yells for Spongebob to hurry up. Spongebob brings the food, and it looks tragic. He explains the rules, but one brave student eats it anyway, and instantly regrets life choices. The food tastes like sadness. Spongebob can't take it anymore. No seasoning? No flavor? Luckily, he smuggled secret spices hidden between his teeth. He sprinkles them like a cooking superhero. A girl tastes it and suddenly hears heavenly music. She starts playing guitar out of joy. But Lenore catches her mid-bite and freaks out. Lenore realizes they've broken cafeteria law. She scolds both Spongebob and Mr. Krabs and reassigns them. Spongebob to cook again, Krabs to cashier duty. Pearl enters with her friends, eager to eat. But disappointment hits. They're still eating the same boring boiled kelp. Pearl yells at her dad, who explains the strict rules. Then Mr. Krabs whispers a plan. Pearl must distract Lenore while they sneak Krabby Patties to everyone. Pearl twirls, dances, and blocks Lenore's view like a drama queen on a mission. Mr. Krabs signals SpongeBob, who quickly serves the glorious patties. The students cheer, finally tasting joy. But their happiness doesn't last. Lenore catches them red-handed, or rather burger-handed. Furious, she storms in, snatching Krabby Patties from every student like a seagull grabbing fries. Everyone's devastated, especially Pearl. In anger, Pearl throws a patty at Lenore's face. The whole cafeteria gasps, then laughs, and suddenly a massive food fight erupts. Burgers fly everywhere like delicious comets. Lenore tries to escape with the last patty, but SpongeBob appears from the kitchen, slow motion style, and tosses one right into her mouth. Bullseye! She falls backward dramatically. Everyone watches as Lenore chews slowly, and her eyes sparkle. This is divine, she cries. She instantly cancels all the cafeteria rules. From now on, Krabby Patties for everyone. The students and teachers rush out, heading straight to the Krusty Krab for a massive lunch party. Back at the restaurant, poor Squidward, still alone, is shocked when 5 more school buses arrive. The kids and teachers flood in, turning the Krusty Krab into the wildest burger party ever. Mr. Krabs grins devilishly. He just turned a food fight into a fortune. And so, with Miss Lenore now a Krabby Patty fan, and the students stuffed with happiness, the story ends with laughter, chaos, and a whole lot of ketchup. The end, guys! Hi, guys! On a bright morning, the seashells began to crow like roosters. Out in the meadow, SpongeBob was seen riding his bicycle all alone, humming a cheerful tune. He was heading somewhere. It seemed like he was going to meet someone special. Soon, he arrived at a small house. But instead of a warm greeting, the old man inside immediately attacked him, thinking SpongeBob was some kind of government agent trying to mess with him. Startled, SpongeBob waved his arms frantically. Wait! I'm not from the government! I'm a food delivery guy from Mr. Krabs' restaurant. Hearing that, the grumpy old man snatched the delivery box suspiciously. He slowly opened the lid, narrowing his eyes. As his face leaned closer to the box, suddenly his eyes bulged wide in shock. Then, boom! He started yelling at SpongeBob, accusing him of being completely useless at his job. Poor SpongeBob stood there, scratching his head. What did I do wrong this time? The old man growled. You fool! You put a napkin inside my food box. SpongeBob blinked, realizing his mistake. Oh, that napkin was an accident. Heh. That tiny blunder was enough to set the old man off. He began ranting, waving his arms wildly. He warned SpongeBob, don't you dare touch anything in my house, or I'll make you regret it. Then the old man stomped back inside, muttering about writing a long, angry letter. SpongeBob, trying to be obedient, clasped his 2 hands together and locked them tight, literally, so he wouldn't accidentally touch anything. SpongeBob, while waiting for the old man to finish his furious letter, wandered around the house. His fingers were locked tight, but his curiosity, that was something he could never lock away. He peeked around and spotted a small shed beside the house. A strange rumbling came from inside. SpongeBob leaned in closer, tilting his head. There was a piece of paper on the door that read, Prize Pig Worm, stay put here. Pigworm, SpongeBob whispered, his eyes glimmering with curiosity. He remembered the warning, don't touch anything. So, to be clever, he decided to use his feet instead. After all, the old man never said he couldn't kick things. He nudged the door open with one big toe, and bam! To his shock, he found Patrick inside. Patrick! What in the name of Jellyfish Fields are you doing here? SpongeBob shouted. Patrick beamed proudly. Oh, hey, buddy! I'm helping the old guy. He's training a pigworm for the fair. SpongeBob blinked. Patrick looked so happy, like a sea star who just found free snacks. Nothing seemed suspicious, just another weird Patrick moment. While looking around, SpongeBob noticed a fancy wardrobe. He leaned too close, and the thing fell on him. Somehow, he ended up wearing the old man's clothes. Fancy, glittery, and incredibly ugly. He turned toward a mirror to admire himself, and the mirror cracked on its own. "Oh, wow," SpongeBob said. "I guess I'm too handsome for you, huh?" Then he spotted the walls, covered with portraits of beautiful pigworms. SpongeBob was amazed. "Patrick, you painted these?" Patrick shook his head proudly. "Nope. My job is to keep the mud bath warm with my, fart power." "Ooh!" SpongeBob giggled. Then SpongeBob noticed the pigworm's bed, empty. The creature was gone. Panic hit both of them like a jellyfish sting. Patrick screamed, "Oh no! It escaped! The old man's gonna explode!" Indeed, from the distance, they could already hear the heavy stomping of the old man's boots. In a panic, Patrick quickly jumped into the pigworm's bed, wrapped himself in a blanket, and said, "Quick! I'll pretend to be it!" The old man burst in, eyes blazing. He saw Patrick's wiggling body under the sheet and sighed with relief. "Ah, there you are, my precious pigworm!" SpongeBob gulped, sweating nervously. Patrick tried to act natural by snorting and squealing like a worm. But then, one drop of Patrick's sweat splashed onto the framed photo of the real pigworm, and it smudged the ink. The old man's eyes widened. He realized the picture was fake, and that his worm was actually a pink sea star in disguise. "You lied to me!" he roared. His face turned redder than a cooked Krabby Patty. SpongeBob quickly begged, "Please, sir, don't hurt us. We'll find your pigworm. We promise," the old man grumbled. "Fine, bring it back, and I won't harm you two idiots." 2 hours later, SpongeBob and Patrick were trudging through the dark forest, carrying flashlights. Patrick sniffed the air. "I think I smell it," SpongeBob asked. "Really?" Patrick nodded proudly. "Yeah, smells like the old man's armpits." SpongeBob groaned. "Patrick, that's you!" Their search was hopeless until the old man joined them with a new plan. He decided to lure the pigworm using its favorite movie, a sappy romantic film called When Worms Cry. He placed a comfy bed nearby and whispered, "Once it lies down, we strike." SpongeBob nodded and placed a Krabby Patty as bait. Patrick, however, misunderstood the mission and built a terrifying trap with spikes and ropes. The old man bonked him on the head. "We need it alive, not deep fried." Moments later, something rustled in the bushes. The trap snapped shut. They cheered until they realized it wasn't the pigworm. It was a sea bear, sobbing loudly after watching the emotional movie. The sea bear roared furiously, feeling disturbed, and went on a rampage, pummeling the old man into the dirt. SpongeBob screamed, Patrick fainted, and everything descended into chaos. When things finally calmed down, SpongeBob noticed his Krabby Patty bait was gone. He lifted the cover, only to find Patrick munching happily. "Patrick! You ate the bait?" Patrick burped. "It was calling my name!" The old man lost it completely. He stomped the ground, triggering Patrick's earlier trap. Thunk! A wooden stake shot up and jabbed him in the butt. He screamed, spinning around in rage like a furious bull, and chased both of them into the forest. SpongeBob and Patrick ran as fast as they could. The old man's laughter echoed through the trees. "You can't escape, my little sea freaks!" Patrick jumped onto SpongeBob's head as they fled in circles, but the old man's beard stretched out like a whip, wrapping around them both. Suddenly, everything went fuzzy, literally. They fell into a swirling tunnel made entirely of hair. They had entered the beard dimension. Months passed. SpongeBob and Patrick somehow got used to their new life inside the soft, ticklish world of beards. They built tiny homes made of tangled hair and slept peacefully each night. They'd forgotten about the outside world until they heard faint laughter again. It was the old man. He had finished his 100th angry letter and decided to dive into his own beard to find them. When he arrived, SpongeBob and Patrick were having a beard ball fight. The moment they saw him, they screamed and ran for their fuzzy lives. The old man chased them, panting heavily. Exhausted, he stopped and muttered, "That's it. If I can't catch them, I'll burn them out." He snapped his fingers and his beard burst into flames. Fire spread everywhere inside the beard dimension. SpongeBob and Patrick sprinted, coughing as the flames closed in. They reached a dead end. The fire glowed behind them, the old man laughing maniacally. "This is the end for you two!" But suddenly, a familiar squeal echoed through the flames. The pigworm appeared, charging through the fire and knocking the old man away. It grabbed SpongeBob and Patrick with its tail and dragged them all out of the collapsing beard world just in time. Outside, the old man screamed as his beard caught fire for real. He ran in circles until SpongeBob poured a bucket of water over him. Panting, the old man looked at his pigworm with teary eyes. You saved me?" he whispered. The pigworm squeaked and nodded. It explained, through cute noises, that it had gone to the contest by itself because it saw the old man too busy writing angry letters. But despite that, it had still won first place. The old man's heart softened. He hugged his pigworm tightly. "You're the best thing I've ever had." SpongeBob smiled and handed him a napkin. "Here, sir. You might need this." The old man stared at the napkin, the same kind that started all of this, and his face twitched. "You again with the napkin!" he bellowed. SpongeBob and Patrick screamed, running off into the horizon as the old man chased them once more, waving his fists. And that, my friends, is how another completely ridiculous day in Bikini Bottom came to an end. And that, my friends, is how another completely ridiculous day in Bikini Bottom came to an end. The end.